They're getting death threats. Do you condemn that, Boogie? Yes or no? Do you condemn the death threats? Because that's what Gamergate is. It is death threats. It's threats. It's doxing. It's forcing people to pick up and leave their entire lives behind because you man babies can't just play the games that you want to play and not bitch and moan about women and black people being in it. Boogie2988, this fella right here, has announced Gamergate 2. So what is that? Well, Sweet Baby Inc. versus Elon Musk. There's a lot to go over here, and we're going to go over it. So I don't know how long this is going to be. It could be 30 minutes. It could be 2 hours. Either way, I know that Dubsy is in it to win it, and will edit it no matter how long it takes. Right, buddy? Anyway, the next part of this equation is Sweet Baby Inc. And I don't know that much about Sweet Baby Inc., but I have heard a lot about it. So I guess the best place to start would be from the source, right? At the time, he was a minor fixture and never a secret about his leanings. I don't know who you're talking about. I've watched Jake videos about Armored Skeptic. IRC Armored had bad takes, but now he's just gone full clickbaity rage and is flying a little too close to the conspiracy, son. But Alec Zoe Quinn copyright struck Mundane Matt. Oh, well, there you go. Well, that's pretty true. Can't copyright strike people. It was just a massive attack against women in gaming hidden under the veil of ethics and gaming journalism, yeah. Okay, Mundane Matt made a full comeback. He's now a decent person. That's good to see. Founded in 2018, Sweet Baby Inc. is a narrative development and consultation studio based in Montreal and working around the globe. Our mission is to tell better, more empathetic stories while diversifying and enriching the video game industry. We aim to make games more engaging, more fun, more meaningful, and more inclusive for everyone. That sounds pretty okay. Services. We believe you need diverse voices to solve diverse problems. Sweet Baby Inc. provides narrative consultation at any stage of development, boasting a talented team with vetted industry experience to best bring your story to life. Outreach. New and marginalized talent can change this industry if given the proper support. We want to provide this through our outreach programs. Let's take a look. New and marginalized talent can change this industry if given the proper support. We want to provide this through our outreach programs. Industry reform. From opaque industry practices to a lack of entry-level roles, we understand the overwhelming challenges that come with finding a space in games. We firmly believe that open communication, compassion, and the fostering of new talent are vital to transforming the games space into a kinder, more collaborative industry. The industry is far from where it needs to be, but we believe it can get there with shared resources, diverse talent, and transparent industry dialogue. Okay, so basically they're just like giving information to people and advice to people who are making games to help them diversify it a little bit, right? Do I have that right? Here, projects. We love making games, no matter the size or scope, and we're always excited to help you tell the best story possible. Featured project, Sable. Well, this looks cool. Sable is an open-world exploration game where you're free to go wherever you want to discover who you are. We wrote the game bringing Sable's inner voice to life and adding dimension to the incredible cast of characters she meets on a journey. I think that sounds fine. Gamergate, from Tipster. Gamergate eventually became a grifter's wet dream, allowing right-wingers to profit off the outrage in numerous ways, which eventually led to the downfall of Gamergate, which is why this time around it won't go far. Someone is already trying to grift off of it. Yeah, so I was actually going to get to your tweet about that, and I'll pull that up just so I have it. So, Tipster, can you tell me, how this whole Gamergate 2 thing started? Do you know, what tweet, it came from? Because I know that people are upset about From the Critical Drinker. Sweet Baby Inc. disaster. Sweet Baby Inc. CEO is nuts. We watched this, but I didn't upload it just because I didn't think it was a very good segment. I didn't know anything about Sweet Baby Inc. Sweet Baby Inc. is awful. Sweet Baby Inc. client exposed, bans everyone in response. This is all AI garbage, I guarantee you. Oh, well, maybe it's not. They have the correct number of fingers. I don't know. Could be either. I have Sable. I need to beat it someday. Yeah, I don't know. It seems fine. Massive win for gamers. Where do I even start with this shit? Let's just search it. Far-right pop culture channel Geeks and Gamers is starting a war with Matt Walsh because this from the Surfs. Because he's joining in on the Sweet Baby Inc. gravy train. It has nothing to do with the Sweet Baby getting diaper fetish dolls that he sold to children before Daily Wire removed the product. Here we go. Madden Sweet Baby Inc. edition. Yes, we have to get some racism and fat phobia in there. This is AI-generated slop, by the way. This isn't actually happening, which is why they need a computer to generate slop and convince people that it is or that it will. Here, not that there's anything wrong with what's happening here. It's just a black woman playing football. I don't see the issue. I don't know of an origin tweet, but basically started with a Steam curator group that listed all Sweet Baby Inc. games, and when the employees of Sweet Baby Inc. tried to have the group flagged down, it really kicked up a lot of dust. Oh, okay. Thank you, Tipster. The right-wingers think Sweet Baby Inc. is forcing wokeness into gaming. No, they're just like a consult. They're just like to consult, right? To make sure that like I am being as open and diverse as possible in my game, okay? Like, okay, let's say that this is real. Okay, now what? Now what? Oh, are you upset? I don't know. She looks pretty well prepared for a football game to me. You know, it's a big girl. She's towering over this guy. I'd say she could run that ball down the field with nobody stopping her. The only problem here is she's not wearing any pads or a helmet. That's the only issue I see. Sweet Baby Inc. doesn't do what you think it does and has no impact on game development. Sweet Baby Inc.'s work is too important for us to get rid of. Pick one gaming journos. This is why fat people actually do well in football. Dude, linemen are some of the fattest people you'll ever see. And they're proud of it too. I was a lineman. We called them the fat boys back in high school. We're the fat boys, okay? You were fat as and that's good because you're a tank. You want to be a tank. Sometimes that body style, there's the body style. Sometimes that body type is what you're looking for. Power lifters. Look at some of these power lifters, man. Not these guys. Here, this guy, power lifter. Oh shit, I don't even know if I can show some of this shit. I gotta be careful. Here, hold on. Yeah, let's just not. Let's just not. I don't think the sensors will catch that. Alec with a lineman build. Oh yeah, no, I was a tank, dude. Eddie Hall. Yeah, look at this boy. He's a big boy. He's a big boy. Jesus. It's a little blurry. On the left, at least. On the right, he's got that six-pack, like, holy shit. That is a chunker. Anyway, you guys get the idea. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay, so how did Boogie get involved in this? So for those who don't know who Boogie2988 is, basically what I do here, let's just look him up. Stephen Jason Williams, better known by his online alias Boogie2988 or simply Boogie, is an American YouTuber, best known for his video rants about video games and nerd culture as a character named Francis. Now, the reason that I'm bringing up Boogie2988 specifically is because he got into a beef with Tipster, who is a good friend of the show. And Tipster's in chat right now, and he'll probably be coming on a little bit later to talk about what's going on. But for right now, all you have to know is that those two got into a bit of a back and forth. So he's going to be the one we're focusing on, but keep in mind throughout this that like Matt Walsh is involved now. There are a ton of drama streamers and YouTubers involved in this now. They're trying to bring back Gamergate. Remember all the shit that we talked about with the doxing, with the harassment, with the death threats and threats? They're trying to bring that back. They want it back, okay? So keep that in mind through all of this. All right, YouTube career. The Francis character is based on stereotypes of nerdy video game players and often parodies trending video game news, reactions, and culture. Williams based the character on his early life experiences and has said that he wants viewers to hate the character for embodying the gamer stereotypes. Give me a second again, sorry. Oy. Williams' videos ranged from absurd rants to serious discussions on daily life, such as the ethics of paid promotion on YouTube channels and his experiences with mental health. Williams won the Trending Gamer Award at the Game Awards 2016. In June 2016, Williams' YouTube account was temporarily closed due to an anonymous hacker. The unidentified person got hold of his phone number via Verizon during his time at VidCon. Blah, blah, blah. You guys get the idea with that. Face streamer Wings of Redemption in a boxing match on the preliminary card of MF and Dazn. Okay, yeah. Controversies. Here we go. In October 2018, Williams faced scrutiny due to his relationship with the controversial counseling service BetterHelp. He and other YouTubers sponsored by the service were accused of profiting from mental illness, which led to Williams publicly terminating his partnership with the company. Well, that's nice at least. Later that month, Williams was removed from a Dungeons & Dragons charity event due to concerns from LGBT activists. Huh. Okay. I would like to know a little bit more about that, but whatever. In February 2019, Williams was criticized when he joked that he would, quote, make a better team leader over this. Wait. Before I continue, I think that this right here was his Joker moment. When he got removed from the D&D campaign because of LGBTQ activists. That's his Joker moment. Okay, in 2019, Williams was criticized when he joked that he would, quote, make a better team leader over another player due to their parents' divorce and correlated it with anger issues during a live stream of the game Apex Legends. Jesus, dude. In April 2019, Williams admitted to potentially committing tax fraud. He stated that he purchases Magic the Gathering cards for his channel, writes them off as business expense, and then resells them without claiming the income on his taxes. The IRS states that the income above $400 from self-employment must be reported. In June 2019, Williams faced criticism after clips from older live streams of him making racially charged comments resurfaced. He commented during one live stream, "That's a lot of money, I guess, for a person of color, or is it not?" Okay. You can't just say that, man. Jesus Christ. Ah, yes. That's a, Oh, yes, for a person like, you. Oh, what do you mean that? Oh, just like this. Oh, no, dude. After receiving a $3 donation from a follower, a $3 donation who frequently donated to him on stream with the message, "I am a black person." On June 27th, that's a little weird in itself, by the way. On June 27, 2019, Williams announced that on Twitter that he had purchased a new Tesla automobile. Following his announcement, Williams held a live stream in early July in which he sarcastically asked for money to help pay for his new car, upsetting some of his viewers who took his comments seriously. Williams subsequently received harsh criticism for his live stream, prompting him to clarify that he did not actually purchase the car, but rather only put a down payment on it, and that he had canceled the order as a result of backlash against him, among other things. In August 2019, Williams made a controversial statement against his internet trolls where he claimed, quote, "I think that there are and Nazis out there who are more redeemable than you because at least they're doing something they believe in." Christ. Aggravated assault charge. In September 2020, Williams began trending on Twitter after news broke out of an ongoing conflict between him and Frank Hassel, a YouTuber who began harassing him over the course of several months after suspecting he was the cause of his channel's termination. After Hassel made his way down to Williams' home in Arkansas, the two were interviewed by Keemstar, in which Williams threatened to kill Hassel if he stepped on his property. The next day after Hassel showed up at his house wearing a GoPro, Williams pulled out a revolver and fired a warning shot into the air. Hassel eventually left and the entire incident was caught on camera. A police investigation was launched shortly afterwards. On May 7, 2021, a warrant was issued for Williams' arrest on charge of aggravated assault with a $5,000 bond by the Washington County, Arkansas Sheriff's Department. Williams turned himself in on May 12th, was processed over the course of 3 hours, and posted bail. What a L, man. That's where this infamous photo comes from. Oh! Dipshit. What an idiot. At least Nazis had an ethos. Walter. All right. One thing that I want to show you before we jump into all this is at a certain point, Boogie was a little bit down on his luck financially. And I would like to show you guys. I just want to remind you guys. Okay. So Boogie got into it with Tipster a little bit. And in response, I just wanted to remind everybody of, just a little interview that Boogie had when talking, I believe, to an advisor, like an employment advisor, because he's not making enough on YouTube anymore because he's a L, like a walking L. So let me just ingrain it into your brains how much of a walking L this man is.
I have no references, no work history, no education. When you Google my name, you might see rumors that I beat my ex-wife. Should mention I'm also a felon.
What's the nature of your felony?
Aggravated assault.
How old is it?
About 2 years.
There you go. That's all you need to see. He's a walking L. All right, all that being said, how does all of this come together? Well, he doesn't like Sweet Baby Inc. very much, along with a lot of other creators. And I just want to dig into this drama specifically once again because Tipster's a good friend of the show. And once again, he is a walking L. Nothing that he says here should be taken with any grain of seriousness. And I don't know, let's just begin. And then afterwards, we'll talk to Tipster a little bit.
Well, gamers, grab your Mountain Dew, lock and load your controllers. Gamergate 2 has officially begun. And who's leading the clapback?
Open up Kiwi Farms.
Just some random neckbeard on the internet like me? No, it's Elon.
Clicky clack at your
Musk.
keyboards.
And you might be asking, who is
Clicky clack at your keyboards. Make sure to send out all those death and threats, right? Make force people to move houses. That's cool. That's a cool thing that they did, right? Harass people.
Elon
right?
squaring off against? Is it some Anita Sarkeesian type? No. It's Homeland Security. I'm going to break this video down into two parts. The first of which is to get people caught up to speed as to exactly what's happening and why it's happening. And secondly, as an old head who lived through the first Gamergate and in fact made quite a few mistakes during the first Gamergate.
Mistakes?
I want to talk about my opinion on...
Oh, what did you do? Harass people? I don't think that he was part of that harassment campaign, was he? Maybe he was. I don't know.
What's probably going to happen here and what we should be doing. Now, all of this starts with a company that you probably never heard of, known as Sweet Baby Incorporated.
Hey, we went over that.
Which, in their own words, is a narrative development and consultation studio based in Montreal and working around the globe. Their mission is to tell better, more empathetic stories while diversifying.
Turns out none of that Kiwi Farms Keppels thing was legit, but that's a topic for a different week. Okay, yeah, I don't know anything about that. I'm not even going to begin to touch that right now.
Enriching the video games industry. They aim to make more games more engaging, more fun, more meaningful, and more inclusive for everyone. Spoiler alert, they mostly failed to do so. Now, right here on their website, you'll see a list of games that they have worked on. And this
He was a fence sitter who didn't get involved much, but he regrets being on, quote, the wrong side of history. What do you mean the wrong side? That he was on, like, the side that didn't harass people? You know? Like, no, that's the correct side. Don't harass people. Don't send people death and threats. That's really weird and gross, actually.
This is
Force people
important
to
later, so
move
take a
homes.
big note. But you'll see that some of these games have been too big to fail. God of War Ragnarok, sequel to the original God of War. Alan Wake 2 sequel.
By the way,
to
I love
original
that they're
Alan Wake,
like
Spider-Man.
Aren't they calling God of War Ragnarok and also the previous God of War woke now? Like they're calling those woke because he like wasn't aggressive enough. Like Kratos wasn't like just going around killing everything in sight, I'm just saying. No games they worked with? I don't know what games they work with at all. They didn't work with any of those? Okay, let's just keep going.
And too big to fail. And some other games on here are some real stinkers, like Suicide.
Did he say that they worked on these? Hold on.
So take a big note. But spoiler alert, they mostly failed to do so. Now, right here on their website, you'll see a list of games that they have worked on. And this is important
Announced
later,
projects.
so take a big note. But you'll see that some of these games have been too big to fail.
No, these are games that they worked with.
God of War Ragnarok, sequel to the original
Sorry,
God of War.
I was confused.
Alan Wake 2, sequel to the original Alan Wake. Spider-Man 2, too big to fail. And some other games on here are some real stinkers, like Suicide Squad, where they worked on the script writing, the banter, the cutscenes, and other things. The things
like
that
a
make
healthy
Suicide
mix.
Squad utterly fail. Meanwhile, over here on Steam, you'll see these curation pages where people can curate lists of games based on all kinds of different things, whether or not they recommend them or don't recommend them, the type of game they are, the type of DRM they use. And this user decided to create a list of games based on games that Sweet Baby Incorporated had worked on. That way, if you've had a good experience with this company in the past, you could play that game based on that recommendation. And if you've had a bad experience in the past, you can choose to avoid that game. And this is just here to inform the consumer. Well, eventually, this Steam group caught the attention of Chris Kindred, who works for Sweet Baby Incorporated. And Chris tweeted out saying that there was a harassment group dedicated to harassing Sweet Baby Incorporated, and that it obviously doesn't adhere to Steam's policies and code of conduct. And she encouraged people to report the hell out of the group in the hopes that it would get taken down. And while you're at it, why don't you report this guy, the guy who created this consumer advocacy list, report his account that he spent...
Brutus? Hold up. Here, this will be a good source. A group of gamers has mobilized a harassment campaign against a story consulting company, marginalized developers, and journalists in protest of what they see as, quote, forced diversity in gaming. The Discord server at the center of Gamergate 2.0 is, in some respects, like any other online community. While I was there, I observed people talking about their day, blah, blah, blah. One chat room over the server was filled with racist memes, sexist and ableist slurs, anti-Semitic messages, and incitations of violence against women and people of color. And at the center of it all was one video game narrative development company, Sweet Baby Inc. This growing group of people want to believe themselves a new incarnation of Gamergate, a harassment campaign started in 2014, blah, blah, blah. We already know all that. This time, instead of assembling under the false banner of, quote, ethics and journalism, this new campaign has chosen wokeism and Sweet Baby as the focus of their grievances. The result has been a wave of bigoted harassment targeting marginalized developers, journalists, and gamers. On social media, the employees of Sweet Baby are subject to a deluge of death threats. Cool. So yeah, they are doing Gamergate 2, or at least attempting. They're just sending death threats to people. That's pretty cool. Developers who have spoken out in support of Sweet Baby are faced with similar treatment, with several making their accounts private in an attempt to stem the tide of abuse. Journalists reporting on the story have become subject to the same harassment they're covering. The resulting frenzy has been amplified by major actors in the right-wing media sphere, including Libs of TikTok, Matt Walsh, Ian Miles Cheong, and Elon Musk. The things they say in our inboxes is the most evil stuff you've ever seen in your life, says David Bedard, co-founder and COO of Sweet Baby, in an interview with The Verge. The harassment campaign against Sweet Baby echoes the Gamergate movement of 10 years ago, once again targeting women, people of color, and journalists in the gaming industry. But this time, the events are playing out differently. Developers and gamers are pushing back, affirming that the kind of diversity these people rail against is here to stay, based. And after speaking with Sweet Baby employees and spending time with their detractors, it is clear the goals of this harassment campaign are largely a reactionary backlash against trends in video games that cannot be meaningfully stopped. Sweet Baby was co-founded in Montreal, blah, blah, blah. Offers services like script writing, story reviews, and sensitivity readings. The Neo-Gamergate fervor surrounding Sweet Baby started with a Brazilian Steam user by the name of Cabrutus. Here we go. In January, he created the Steam curation page called Sweet Baby Inc. Detected, SBID, which the page's description explains is a, quote, tracker for games involved with Sweet Baby Inc. Why, though? Like, for what purpose? Like, if the game's good, then play it. If it's not good, don't play it. Stop harassing people. It's just a list for the mob to review bomb. Okay, so all it is a list. Okay, so yeah, he's basically just taking games and having people review bomb them, which is stupid. That ruins the point of reviews. Most of those people probably didn't even play the games. So yeah, I would crack down on that. I would want Steam to crack down on that. People who have not played the games don't get to review them, you know? And, you know, like if they're just doing this for the sole purpose of Sweet Baby worked on it, then yeah, I would absolutely want Steam to crack down on it. According to an interview with Kabrutus and Geeks and Gamers, he believes Sweet Baby is responsible for, quote, forcing political agendas and DEI, the abbreviation for diversity, equity, and inclusion, into their games. Yeah, they just don't want diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is stupid. Kabrutus believes that any diverse characters or stories in Sweet Baby games are the result of its employees exerting pressure on developers to make additions or changes they might not otherwise make. Quote, I started noticing patterns in some games, like ugly women and male characters being weakened to make female ones look stronger. Ugly women, no! Ugly women in my game. How dare they? Oh, woe is me. How will I go on? The game that brought his attention to Sweet Baby was God of War Ragnarok. Wow, 4.7 out of 5. 5. Like, yeah, people love this game. Terrible game to start with, in my opinion. When a giant property succeeds, they say it's the property, and when it fails, it's because of SBI, which is very hypocritical of them. That's true. So they're saying it's because it's God of War? I can't think of off the top of my head a big franchise that had a failing game. Oh, Battlefront Classic Collection has reached overwhelmingly negative reviews, on par with games like Overwatch 2. Overwatch 2 is another big one. 1.8 on Overwatch 2. Oh, but it's the title, right? But it's the title. That's why God of War was so well renowned, right? It was so well received. The Classic Collection is abysmal. That sucks because I bought it. I was going to play it. I heard that the story mode's at least good, right? Maybe I'm just coping. According to Kabrutus and the thousands of followers he's recruited through a Steam group and Discord server, developers have no choice but to make these, quote, woke narrative changes. SBID argues that the game companies are forced to add, quote, wokeness to improve their ESG scores, a measure of environmental, social, and governance considerations, if they want to land investors. I mean, part of that might be a little bit true. I'm not going to say that that's not true. They do have to appeal to advertisers, but you also have to appeal to advertisers by including black people and women and people of color in general. Like, wow, in your video games. Wow, just like in real life, right? Wow, video games have to reflect reality a little bit, right? They can't just all be stock white people, because that's stupid and boring, honestly. Like, even like, why would you want that anyway? That's boring. The Avengers game 2? Yeah, too big to fail isn't a thing. Not with games. Gamers are very finicky. SBID supporters also argue that Sweet Baby has coerced developers into making changes through fear, pointing to out-of-context quotes from the company. I think I remember that. The most widely circulated example involves a clip of a talk Belair, a black woman, gave at the Game Developers Conference in 2019. In it, she counsels developers to, quote, terrify their bosses with the, quote, threat of cancellation if their requests for inclusivity are not met. But a look at the clip's full context tells a different story. It's clear that Belair didn't want developers to scare their superiors into inclusivity. Instead, she wanted them to enlist support from the employees, those on the marketing and community side, who stand to receive the most backlash from players if those concerns aren't taken seriously. In reality, Sweet Baby and other video game consultants are contracted by the studios to support their studio's own goal. They consult, wrote Mary Kenny, the associate narrative director on the forthcoming Wolverine game from the Insomniac Games, who worked with Sweet Baby on another Insomniac title, Marvel Spider-Man 2. They do research, pitch ideas, give feedback, and maybe even write scripts, but none of that gets into the game unless the core dev team agrees with it. Sometimes we'll be brought in to just look at a project storyline to give feedback on it to find ways that they can better kind of align with gameplay mechanics, Belair said. Kyle Rowley, game director on Alan Wake 2, responded to a rumor on X that Sweet Baby was responsible for changing Saga Anderson, one of the game's main characters, from a white woman to a black woman. It is absolutely not true, he wrote. So yeah, you guys get the idea. We won't read the rest of the article, but all Sweet Baby is doing is they're a consultant. They're a consultant. That's it. This is not a big deal. Let's keep going. Sorry, that was a long segue, but I think it was important. We got the full context now of what this is and why they're getting upset. They're just getting upset because diversity is a thing now and it's not going anywhere, and Gamergate 2 is going to crash, okay? The original is always more successful than the sequel.
And all this money on to see if you can get that taken away from him as well. And again, because he was informing consumers. Now, you remember earlier when we were taking a look at the Sweet Baby website?
He wasn't informing consumers.
I pointed out that
he was posting lists of games that Sweet Baby Inc. worked on to get them review bombed. That is worthy of a ban.
List the games that they have worked on right on their website. So if they're doing that themselves, are they harassing themselves? How could it possibly be harassment to copy paste this list of games that they've posted themselves over on
They're posting the list and telling people to review bomb them. They're not being fair. That is harassment.
Steam. That it's nonsensical.
That's clear harassment.
And it's definitely not worth somebody losing their Steam account over. Now,
I think
obviously,
it is.
gamers didn't like that, but you know who else didn't?
I'm a gamer. I think it's fine.
Fed Chris a 6-day ban for targeted harassment. The thing that Chris was actually doing. The thing that, she was accusing others of doing and decided to do
Chris?
herself. Meanwhile...
Wait, what was Chris? Oh, that's bullshit, man. The Chris was the guy who said go report the account. That's some bullshit. Targeted harassment, my ass.
Chris was actually doing...
You know what the report button is there for? In case people do some shit they're not supposed to do. And guess what you're not supposed to do? Take a list of games that Sweet Baby Inc. was involved with, just as a consult, and post it for your entire audience to go review bomb. You're not supposed to do that. That ruins the point of the reviews. It breaks the system.
She was accusing others of doing and decided to do herself. Meanwhile, we have Lego Butts, who
poor baby,
I presume you
account.
remember from the first Gamergate if you were around for it, pointing out that Steam doesn't, force people to prove that a game has been worked on by Sweet Baby Incorporated, and that might be why it should get taken down. This got community noted by the fact that, number one, Lego Butts works for Sweet Baby Incorporated and probably shouldn't be trusted on this particular topic. And that, secondly, the curator literally uses that games list that they have on their website that I showed you early to, prove that the...
And then they take that and post it on blast. Just because, okay, Boogie, how about this? I'll go find your address, right? And post it. That's fine, right? Don't do that, by the way. Please don't do that. But I'm just saying, you could dig up Boogie2988's address from somewhere and just, oh, here you go. Here you go. That's fine, right? Because it's on the internet, right? No, that's not okay, actually. Okay? Maybe that's a little bit of a faulty comparison. But let's say that, like, you have a page... Here, let's do this. How about you take, like a book from somebody that you don't like, right? A book from somebody that you don't like, and you have a decently sized following, and you say, listen, I haven't read this book. I don't know anything about this book, but hey, go review bomb it. Guys, you're my followers. Go review bomb that book. I want as many negative reviews, 1 stars on that book as possible. No, you can't do that. Sorry, that's harassment.
They're the games they've worked on. And allow me to interject some editorial
That's harassment.
here.
Targeted
Why
harassment.
are these guys afraid of people listing the games they've worked on to begin with? If you've done good work and you're proud of the work you've done, someone listing all the games you've worked on should be doing you a favor, right?
That's not a favor.
Unless, of course, the work you're putting in is bad and it's ruined some of the games
How is
that
it
could have
bad?
been better. Then you probably don't want people
some of
curating
them.
that list.
Just some of them, like 50%, right? But it's a toss-up, whether this game will be good or not, since Sweet Baby Inc. worked on it with them, right? It's just a toss-up, but it proves my point, right? Yeah, no, it doesn't, dumbass.
I think they know what they're doing. Now, due to the Streisand effect, all of this caused that curator list to bloom over 100K, now
Exactly,
250K people on that list supporting this cause. And as people dug around,
I don't care.
They found this, the co-founder of
I don't care if the whole world is on that list. I'll be against them.
Sweet Baby Incorporated, basically saying
It's
that
not right.
they bully people into putting this type of stuff in their games. Here, I'll let her speak for herself.
No,
if you're creative-
this is the out of context clip that we talked about. What she's saying here, let's go back to the article. Clear that Belair didn't want developers to scare their superiors into inclusivity. She wanted them to enlist support from the employees, those on the marketing and community side, who stand to receive the most backlash from players if those concerns aren't taken seriously. Yeah, so... this is a protective measure for employees who are at risk of receiving backlash because they didn't like what the game was. So this is legitimate. Like, this is a legitimate statement.
Working in AAA, which I did for many, many years, put this stuff up to your higher-ups. And if they don't see the value in what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
I don't think it's ever a good look
Yeah, and that was taken out of context.
to say that your company is based on wielding cancel culture to get big companies to pay.
Pay me to shoot down your white male lead game ideas. I usually get grossed out when straight white rich people kiss, but even I think those two are pretty cute. It seems like Lego Butts is taking the piss. I just had a thought about trying this again with a photo of a young person about to be ripped open, but I'm betting folks would flag it as traumatic. Had a nightmare that I was a white male gamer. This is just Lego Butts taking the piss. I don't give a shit about this.
But if at least you're providing a valuable service, I guess that might be at least conceivable. But if you wonder what kind of service Sweet Baby Incorporated is trying to provide, well, look at these tweets from...
Yeah, that's a good one, Lucifer Writing. If you sell your pics on OnlyFans and you're proud of it, why don't you want me to, take the photos and send them to your family? I'm sure your parents would love to see that. You shouldn't be embarrassed of your parents seeing that right now. That's stupid.
Felix,
Good-
that we
good
spoke
one.
about earlier. Pay me to shoot down your white male...
It's from a 2019 convention. She didn't say that. What do you mean she didn't say that? She did say it.
lead game ideas. I had a nightmare that I was a white male gamer. Yeah, it's pretty abundantly clear that they're not there
sorry.
to add diversity to games. They're there to push white people and white males out. Then you got the old media stepping in.
Oh yes, white males. They're pushing out white males from games, like in God of War, right? Let's go over some of the characters. Here, let's see if we can pull up an image. Wow, the two main characters, two white people, two white male people, as it were. All the new characters. Uh-oh! That looks like a woman of color to me. Oh, man. Yep, no, it's gotta go. It's gotta go. Sorry. It's too much. It's too much. I know that the main people that you play as throughout the entirety of the game, along with most of the antagonists, are white males. You know, like Thor. Who's that one guy? Odin, right? Odin's a white male. God of War Ragnarok Odin. Oh, man. Man, so many diversity. So many diverse characters in this game full of white males, right? And like a couple of black people. Heavens forbid.
And,
Just saying.
this is game developer, writer by the name of Brian Francis. who
Count these
says,
Spider-Man 2.
Steam and Discord are being used as a home base for hateful reactionaries to single out and harass game developers. Why are Valve and Discord
is.
permitting harassment against Sweet Baby
question.
Incorporated? And again, the harassment Bryant is so upset about is that someone copy and pasted from the Sweet Baby Incorporated website the list of games they've worked on so that you can make an informed decision whether or not you want to support the games that they've worked on. I mean, I guess in Brian's article, he does point out that at one point there was a forum on that curation group where a lot of people, a handful of bad actors, said some crazy shit, but the curator just got rid of those forums. So there's nothing that could possibly be harassment on that page, right? It's just a list of games. But here's where things get entirely off.
Yeah, it's a list of games. Again, I must stress that you posted up and told people to go review bomb. You can't do that.
Rails.
It ruins the point of reviews.
Named Take This, which, after getting looked
Take
into,
This.
found out they were being funded by
That's a Game Grumps bit, if you guys know that. Take this. I love that bit.
Homeland Security here in the United States. Posted an article called Responding to Gamergate 2, saying Gamergate 2 is the latest targeting harassment campaign within the games industry, and it's aimed at Sweet Baby Incorporated. That all scholars
They've
and
already
journalists and
sent
game
death threats to
developers
people.
Must do everything they can to shut down Gamergate
It is a
2 and
harassment
denounce
campaign.
the gamers who don't want to buy games that have been worked on by this company. So there's your smoking gun. The Department of Homeland Security funding an organization that just fired the warning shot. The Gamergate 2 is coming, and we need to make sure that every gamer knows they have to buy the games worked on by Sweet Baby Incorporated, or else they're the bad guys. Am I taking crazy pills?
First of all, yes. Second of all, nobody said that you have to buy those games.
You can't even blame the gamers.
Just don't
this
buy
time.
them.
It's Homeland Security.
You're man
Holy
child.
Shit. Now, of course, we saw the old.
Like, I already
guard
knew
from the
that,
first
but this is
Gamergate dust
making
off
it
their
worse.
Pitchforks. We saw Mark.
Before, I felt bad for you being a man child. Now I just think you're stupid and disgusting.
Kern, you know, the guy who worked at Blizzard there, Grums on Twitter. Here in this interview with the Quartering, he went on to explain
I still
that
feel bad for
basically
you.
the way the games are getting made
Little bit.
is they're extremely expensive. Huge companies have to come up with the money, and one of the best ways to come up with the money is your CFO can get you tax breaks based on working with companies that do this forced diversity stuff to make sure you can fund your game. And oh, by the way, you remember I mentioned Elon Musk? Well, this is where Elon Musk...
I don't think you get tax breaks. Is that substantiated at all that you get tax breaks for like including diversity? That just means that you're allowed. Including diversity is just like something you're supposed to do now because there's a diverse population of people that exist and they deserve to be represented. And I think that's fine. I think it's fine to have standards for that.
Signal boosted this by retweeting it simply by saying wow, and this got it in front of 5.4 million eyes. So we're off to the races officially with this tweet. Then you got people like Matt Walsh chiming in, and say what you will about Matt Walsh, but this is one take of the breakdown
I say that Matt Walsh wants to force 10-year-olds to give birth, but that's just me.
of, quote, wokeness, end quote, in gaming. But this also got signal boosted by Elon Musk, this time to 17.8 million viewers. So there's now way more people involved. And Elon Musk says video games need to get rid of the woke BS. Getting lectured with tedious propaganda is not why people play games.
Tedious propaganda, like including black people, right? Oh, it's so tedious to include black people in my games. I want them all to be white men, except for the women who I want to be damsels in distress. And all the evil people are actually black or black-coded.
Now for my opinions. I was around for the last Gamergate.
Yeah, wait.
And if you guys remember...
Now, wait just a minute. You're accusing me of only wanting white people in my games, but I'll have you know, sir, the bad guys are black. Got him.
I was a bit of a notorious fence sitter during that period of time. I hated people being harassed online. I hated seeing people arguing online about this stuff.
You should hate it now,
and
too.
I did feel like there was improvement the way that we as...
There have literally been death threats sent to people. Look. The employees of Sweet Baby are subject to a deluge of death threats. They're getting death threats. Do you condemn that, Boogie, yes or no? Do you condemn the death threats? Because that's what Gamergate is. It is death threats, it's threats, it's doxing, it's forcing people to pick up and leave their entire lives behind because you man babies can't just play the games that you want to play and not bitch and moan about women and black people being in it. Christ, go shit yourselves, okay? Go shit yourselves and clean it up. At least then you'll be occupied and not sending death and threats to people and doxing them, okay? I'd much rather you just shit yourselves and go waste time cleaning it up.
Content creators and writers and gaming companies could do a better job of calling out corruption in
at least that's productive
and
in a sense,
the way that
right?
we reported.
At least then you're
video
making
games.
something.
And I'll tell you where that got me.
Better than what you're making here.
By Anita Sarkeesian, chewed up by the left, and spit the out. I'm not going to make that mistake again. I, like most sane people, just like fun video games. I don't care if the protagonist or the supporting characters are short or tall, fat or skinny, black or white, gay or straight, big tits, small tits,
trans,
negative tits, 3 dicks, 10 dicks. I don't give a shit. I just play video games to have fun. I'm just here to have fun. Please make a fun video game.
If that's the case, then just go play God of War Ragnarok. It's got great ratings, okay? I've heard it's very fun. Even if Sweet Baby Gang did work on it. Is it Sweet Baby Gang? Sweet Baby Inc. Sweet Baby Gang is the Matt Walsh thing. It's the diaper fetish thing.
I also think diversity can be fun. It doesn't have to take away or detract from the video game. Give me cool character creators with crazy shit in it. Give me wild
Maybe that's why
main
Matt Walsh is
characters.
mad at them.
Give me storylines of things I would never experience in my own life, and let me experience them through somebody else's eyes. But it's got to be done well, and it's got to be done fun.
It is.
When I look at the list of games,
Part of what Sweet Baby Inc. does is make it done well, okay? They help you do it well, okay? From what I saw in chat, Sable is a very good game. Let's take a look at it, shall we? Oh, my bad. I love this art style. I don't know if I can play this song or not. So I'm not going to. It looks great though. Oh man, look, Sweet Baby Gang, or whatever it is, Sweet Baby Inc. ruined this game, right? They ruined it. They ruined it. All the good parts of the game are gone. Gone! Because they had to include people of color and women. No! No! How dare they? Anyway, it looks great. Who's saying white players just want white characters? I don't know.
Sweet Baby has worked on. I don't find any of the diverse storylines in Spider-Man 2 to be very fun or well done, and we all know what we thought about Suicide Squad, which was just an abomination from the ground.
Okay, but you're ignoring the fact that some of these games were received very well. You're only focusing in on the ones that weren't received well. That's kind of biased of you, no?
Up. I personally think that curator list is a good thing, and I'm going to use it to make informed decisions moving forward. And as it stands right now, because of the behavior of the people that work at that company, plus their track record of the games they've worked on, I'm not inclined
What
to
track
buy anything
record?
from Sweet Baby.
You straight up were like, look, you can see good games on here, like God of War Ragnarok and Spider-Man 2, but then there's bad games like Suicide Squad. Bad game. It's a bad game. See, that proves it. That proves my point. It's like, no, it doesn't. You just listed good games. And then like one bad game.
Incorporated. Does that make me some white male
Look at how mad I'm not, guys.
monster?
Yeah, good point.
Then put me on the guillotine list. I'll
Do
sign
not
up
put in
right
the paper
first.
that I'm mad.
ready to go. I've been ready to go since the first Gamergate.
Do not put in the news.
Put me out of my misery. You're around for the first Gamergate. You know the tools that you use, right? You've heard it all before. Everything is sexist.
Yes, I see people are talking about like Helldivers. I did play, Tina 2 got me into Helldivers. I do want to play more of it. It's very fun. I just have not sat down and taken the time, but I will.
Everything is racist. Everything is harassment. Call it all out. Shoot everything down. If you
Okay, if I call something out that is racist, that's not me saying that everything is racist. That's saying that the thing that I called out is racist. Like, give me some examples then. Give me some examples of, I'm sure they exist. I'm not saying they don't. People calling things racist that aren't. Okay, I'll accept that. But it's not like that's a proliferant problem, okay? You're just making problems. You're making shit up, okay? It's like conservatives always do.
you don't like it, it's bad, and
Like
it
with
must
that AI
be taken
shit.
away.
Need I remind you guys, right? The AI shit that I just retweeted. This. Just making shit up. Why not? People will gobble it up. Just make it up. Just bullshit your way through it.
As long as you're somebody that works at Sweet Baby Incorporated. If you're a consumer like you or me and you want to have a fun video game, well, then you're the asshole. Oh, and don't forget, if you're a white male gamer, especially an older one like me, it doesn't matter how leftist you are. It doesn't matter how much you support diversity. It doesn't matter how good of an ally you are. You are dog shit.
You're not a
on the
good
bottom
ally,
of these
though.
people's heels.
At least
Don't
not that
you
I've seen.
ever forget it. If you choose not to buy their shitty games, then you are the enemy. And if
No, actually, I have not bought most of those games, and I am not deemed an enemy of them. Like, nobody's getting mad at you for not buying Suicide Squad, man. Just don't buy it and don't play it.
you inform other people about what games they've worked on, you might very well find your Steam account gone when you wake up in the morning. That's who you're up against. And I think it should be abundantly clear this is not another harassment campaign, and you or nobody should be harassing anybody. We've shown in this video that if you give these people
Okay, then go after the people who are harassing people.
enough time to speak and a platform to do it on, they'll self-destruct on their own.
Then
You
leave
don't
them
have to do
alone!
anything but wait.
Then leave them alone!
Though I do recommend, if you're somebody who works for their money and has it in their pocket and only wants to
Then
spend
shut
it
the
on
f-
fun
up.
video games instead of the games that these people have
How
made.
about you just shut the f up then? Oh, they're gonna self-destruct? Okay, shut the f up then. Why even make this video? Let them self-destruct. Shut up. Why wasn't this video 2 minutes? You know what you could have said? 30 seconds even. Hey guys, I know that people are really upset about the Babygate thing, but listen, don't do Gamergate 2. Don't do it. Just let them self-destruct. You know, they are woke and BS and whatever, and you go woke, go broke, so they'll go broke. So just let them go broke, right? Just let them do it. Don't worry about it. That's your video. Done. Ship it. Okay? Like, clip it and ship it. You don't need a 12-minute, 13-minute diatribe about how much you hate Sweet Baby Gang and their nefarious deeds of putting black people in games. Okay? And only to say like, oh, I don't care actually if black people are in games. Yeah, the f you do. Come on. Either you do, or you're just faking it because you're desperate. Which is probably the more likely reason. I don't think you actually believe any of the bullshit that you say here. I think that you're just desperate for attention and clicks. And you saw that Sweet Baby Inc. is getting clicks. And so that's why you're doing this now. Because we've already established that you have no education, no employment. You're just dog shit at everything, right? You self-admitted dog shit at everything, Boogie2988, okay? And so that's why you're doing this. In the future, just like make AI-generated slop and monetize off of that. It's much easier.
I think that's probably the right thing to do as well, even though they'll probably still call that harassment. At the end of the day, I set the last one out.
Yeah, it's
and,
the longest re.
I felt like I was on the wrong
Here's
side
my
of
biggest
history
re, guys,
there.
this
And
video.
it certainly didn't serve me well. So gamers, I've been granted a do-over here.
Gamers.
I don't know why Homeland Security has decided that they are going to give me a chance to right this particular ship, but I'm going to
Learn what
And I'm gonna make
Gamergate is,
sure
man.
That I'm on the right side of fun video games and fun, well-written diversity and nowhere else. Guys, as always, thanks for watching. I love you very much, and I will speak with you again soon. You know, I just realized my career outlasted Anita Sarkeesian's by quite a bit.
What career? Dog, I have videos that got more views than this. The f you mean your career? Here, let's take a look. You were desperate for cash, so that's why you did that interview. From 4 million subscriber Boogie2988, putting up numbers that, like, are not that much bigger than mine. What career are you talking about, man? Like, I know I'm not one to talk, but I don't know. This stupid video. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more, hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload. If you enjoy my content, you enjoy what I do, I really appreciate any financial help that I can get. Go to youtube.com/AlecGunterTTV/join. You got some awesome benefits, such as seeing early videos, awesome emotes that you can use in the comments of YouTube videos, and a sweet badge next to your name. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'd really appreciate if you join. It is cheaper than the cost of a blowjob from your mom. So with all that being said, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.